Oh wait, no longer. Greatness has arrived. Welcome to episode 277 of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. Of course, this week, we're talking about GoW Ragnarok's leaked, rumored release date, how we still don't know anything as of right now, as of this episode, and the state of leak culture. We're going to be talking about Sony Studios speaking out in support of reproductive freedom. And of course, we're going to be talking about FromSoftware's next game and how it's in final stages of production. With all that said, with all that out of the way, before I introduce the greatest co-host, whoever is, whoever will be, I will say God of War's release date or the trailer or state of play, whatever it is, still hasn't happened yet. Apparently it's imminent. So just to let everybody know, that when that God of War announcement happens, we will be covering it here on the podcast. So make sure you're on the lookout for your RSS feeds on whatever podcast service you're using for that special episode. So with all that said, and with all that out of the way, the greatest co-host, whoever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson, how are you, sir?
I'm hot.
Same here.
And
I'm
also
not
the
thinking
temperature
straight.
is very warm. See what I did there?
Oh, look
bit of
at
self-love
you.
to start the episode.
Yeah.
I'm doing okay. It was a long day today
Yeah.
for reasons I don't want to get on the show.
You told
But
me
it
they
was-
were wild.
The morning started off
Spicy.
crazy.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I saw someone actually use a victim card in real life,
Yeah.
and it was
You saw someone going, I quit, and that is nuts.
yeah. We'll see if it sticks. But
We'll
I don't
see
know.
what it sticks. We'll see what it sticks. Either way, that's wild. That being
Yeah.
said, though, maybe that's for an after show. Who knows? Patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. But, Kyle, listen, currently it's 95 degrees out. I have no fan. I have no AC.
You're glistening.
I'm glistening as we speak. It's been a long day, and there's just so many rumors, speculation about God of War, and I gotta just reiterate again. Once we get that news, it could be, as of recording, it could be after the show comes out on Thursday. We're covering it. It'll be there on your feeds that day. I'm at fever pitch for God of War, but I'm also at this point tired of talking about this release date. I just
Same.
want to know when it's coming out. That being said, you know what I'm also sick of, Kyle?
What?
The harassment I've gotten from you and the legion of Sweet Num Nums people. Dozens upon dozens upon dozens of tweets. We're getting reviews, 5-star reviews over on Apple Podcasts, which I like those, but just Sweet Num Num this, Sweet Num Num that. Joe loves Sweet Num Nums.
Yeah, there we go. I was about to say, it's specifically Joe loves Sweet Num Nums.
You know, what are we gonna do with y'all?
What are we gonna do? We're
You're
gonna give
bad
away
influence.
$100 to PSN.
Oh,
That's
yeah?
the whole point. I was very gracious enough to be gifted a Last of Us Part 1 Firefly edition from a community member. And that community member would not let me pay them back. So in turn, I'm going to give out a $100 PSN card. And that was going to be given out by somebody who tweeted at us using Joe Loves Sweet Num Nums or commented on the YouTube video. And I'm happy to say we have a winner. Am I saying after I announce the winner to stop sending Joe those tweets? Absolutely
Yes.
not. Keep them coming.
I
Have
just
fun with it, Just have fun with it.
Before you say the winner of, I just love her. It's not like give us a 5-star review or like this is
No,
something that's
just-
gonna boost the channel. Like I got like
It
there's
did
also
boost it. You
dozens.
kidding me? Look, the engagement on our Twitter, it was
And on YouTube, it's just Sweet Num Nums, and it's not like death threats towards me. It's really different energy that I'm not expecting from YouTube anymore. So I don't even know how I feel about it. But let everybody know who's the big winner. Who's
The winner who tweeted Joe loves Sweet Num Nums. Thomas Carchidi at TCARCHIDI67 on Twitter. I will DM you to let you know you won right now.
How dare you?
And yeah, we'll see how we get this to you and enjoy some games on Joe's sweet loving Num Nums self.
It's just it doesn't sound right. It sounds.
What's your favorite sweet Num Num? Chocolate Num Nums? Strawberry
It
Num Nums?
sounds
Vanilla?
perverse. It sounds perverse.
Little sprinkles on your Num Nums?
See? See? say that. You can't say that in public, so you just shouldn't say it at all. That's how I.
Are you kidding me? When I see
believer.
you next weekend in person,
That's true.
the entire time I'm going to ask you if you want more sweet num nums.
Before or after I touch your face?
During?
Nice. Do you like sweet num nums? And I'm just like, both palms. My boy. But other than like, it's a heat wave. You're doing good. You're doing all right. You're feeling great.
Yeah, I mean, I could get into a load of things that could probably be better suited for the after show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm excited for Friday. Not only because we have a 3-day weekend, but we got Stranger Things Volume 2.
God, Friday.
We got a new episode of The Boys, which I'm finally all caught up on.
Good, yes.
Maybe we'll get into it in the after show at some point, because like I watched Alien for the first time and Aliens for the first time. We got a lot to talk about.
All right, real talk. They're great though, right?
Aliens I like way better than Alien.
That's fair. So in the Alien like fandom, you either like the debate is like you either love one or you love two.
I love one for the atmospheric tension building horror that it does. I love two more because I like the crew. I like their banter, even though they're awful humans. Yeah, I just love having more people that are interacting with each other.
And there's just so many more xenomorphs.
Oh yeah.
It's and for
also,
me,
there's a shot in the first one. At the very end, right when Ripley is on the escape shuttle.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. The alien. I know this movie was made in the 70s. Yeah. I'm trying not to hold it again. Sure. The xenomorph is clearly a man in a costume, and he reaches out like a hug. He's like, "Hey!"
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I'm like,
oh my God, that broke all the tension for me.
Yeah. But man, those are incredible.
That was very good.
You know me, right? So I'm just like, I see xenomorphs, I love them. You know, like Alien 1 and Alien 2, I'm like, they're two totally different horror movies, and I love them both the same.
Yeah, I tried to watch 3 and Resurrection, but my Blu-ray discs don't work on my PlayStation 5.
Your PlayStation 5 did you a favor.
Are they saving me?
Yeah. And like even I know there's like Prometheus stands out there, but you could see, what is it? Alien
oh my God.
Oh my God, what's it?
The latest one.
The latest one.
Rides in it, right?
Yeah. That one's fantastic to me as well.
Okay.
So
what is that called?
I forget. It's gonna bother me. But you know what? You look it up while I do some housekeeping. By the way, this isn't a Xenomorph podcast. This is a PlayStation podcast. And before we get into all the PlayStation news, a little bit of housekeeping. This podcast is powered by our generous patrons over at patreon.com/
Covenant, by the way.
Covenant, thank you. PS Trophy Room. And I'd like to thank our newest member, Cade, at the Silver Plus tier. I want to thank our Platinum producers, Todd Burowitz and Toxic. I want to thank our Gold members, Too Soon, Gavin Gottfried, Jose Jimenez, Jedi Master Ren, Metal Kirby, Awesome Dave, Robbie Bobby Miller, and Strubles and Bits. I want to thank our Silver Plus members, Hide Indoors, Marcus O'Neill, JB the Purple Monkey, Jodas Von Metal, Tim Ulf, Justin Rodriguez, Cypher Primus, Captain Logan, Brenton Zachary, K Grimm, Rick Arrington, Dwayne Rockshield, The Good Sir, Mr. and Mrs. Nasty Boots, Drellish, Fuji, Annie Daynell, Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Diaz, Manx Vizia, The Lord Commander Corgi, Elo 2032, Stephen Flesh, Jinx the 27th, Bubble Boy N7, Jesse Garcia, Hambone, The Aztec King, Millennial Falcon Gaming, and Darth Simon the Pie Man, who sent me a really awesome message about me losing weight, which Kyle, humble brag, I've lost 14 pounds.
I'm very proud of you. That's awesome.
I look better, and real talk, Kyle, look at how tan I've gotten. I've just been swimming constantly. That's what I've been doing. Because, you know, you're large in charge. It helps your joints.
Swimming helps big time, yeah.
Yeah. And you know what helps? Patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. It's the reason why we look so good, sound so great, and what an amazing segue that was. That, honestly, Kyle, that segue, I think you are... I feel like compelled to give us a buck just for that segue, because I've never seen one so good in my life.
I mean, I'm going to call the Podcast Hall of Fame right now, and we're going to frame that little sound clip up there, where if there's a brick and mortar spot for it, there should be.
We just buy frames.
Joe, a.k.a. Mr. Babbitt, nailed a segue.
Nailed it. And
June 29th, 2022.
a day that will live in infamy. That's right. FDR comes back from the grave and gives another. We have nothing to fear, but wait, what the hell just happened on January 6th? Oh my God! Just all of it, you know.
I was gonna pivot like FDR. What's the Ragnarok?
There was a global what?
When's the Ragnarok coming, FDR? What do you know?
Well, I'd like to tell you, but that's up to PlayStation and God himself. With that, Kyle, it is time to square up the news.
First bit of news that needs to be squared up is from Mac Ashworth over at PS Lifestyle. God of War Ragnarok release date news expected as this show goes live and without a state of play. God of War Ragnarok release date news is expected to be revealed today, June 30th, following the teases made by reputable leakers on Twitter. Some were expecting a God of War Ragnarok State of Play announcement for this month. However, according to an industry insider, Jason Schreier, a State of Play isn't happening, though the God of War reveal is still planned. I'm going to pause real quick from the article.
Yes.
I love how Mac was like, according to an industry insider, not the industry insider, Jason Schreier.
Yeah.
He's just some other guy.
Just some other guy.
Whatever, it's fine. The latest information from insiders suggests that the God of War Ragnarok release date news will come today, though it won't be revealed during a State of Play presentation. Instead, the release date is expected to be confirmed in a standard PlayStation blog post, potentially accompanied. Yeah, there's going to be a trailer in the blog post. I can't say that word.
Yet again, the trailer could have already dropped. The release date could have already dropped. We don't know. And I thought, what better way to stick it to the SEO gods than to give our final predictions? Because I feel as though, and maybe I'm with you here, or maybe you're with me here, the announcement's imminent. Like,
I feel like it is.
It's happening. I think by the next podcast, we know. Because even Corey has acknowledged it on Twitter, where he's like, guys, I'd love to tell you all the things in time. Like, he's been teasing it as well. So it's happening, I think, soon. I want to give our final predictions, but before we do, I want to get our good friend of the show, Katie, who wrote in via the Trophy Room Discord, just like you can too if you join the Discord in the link down below. Another amazing segue. What?
Whoa.
2 in one night?
Make another spot next to the wall.
Hey.
Podcast Hall of Fame.
Here was 2 in a row. It was spectacular. The world applauded. Anyway, also, so Katie writes in, also, predictions on God of War is it's still this year. But if we don't see anything by the end of August, then it's most certainly delayed. Now, again, Corey Barlock has said publicly on Twitter, it is not delayed.
Yep.
So, that's it, Katie. We have hope. We have hope. She continues, I just wish Sony Santa Monica will give us a little bit more information here. I don't hate on delays. At the end of the day, if the game gets delayed, the game will turn out better for it. I just feel like Sony Santa Monica are still unsure on when it's coming, then maybe they should just bite the bullet and delay. Great comment, great question, Katie. And I go to you, Kyle.
Yeah.
Why haven't they just come out and said it? Like, why is Corey like kind of teasing or kind of making these statements on Twitter going, guys, I know you're excited. I want to tell you all the things. Why isn't he telling all the things? Is it a bigwig up at Sony, corporate? What do you think's stopping this game from being finally revealed or announced, rather?
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's weird because we have that insider on Twitter who seems to be getting everything right. He tweeted something out with the binary for 30.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically tomorrow is the 30th or today is the 30th if you're listening to it the day this goes live. So it could be revealed, but then that begs question, how do you get all the other ones right? Because if it's not a YouTube premiere or state of play and just a black book, many questions. But part of me thinks that they were maybe gearing up for maybe a state of play, like a first party one or the first party showcase or something. And they decided maybe not to do it and hold it off for another month or two. Like that's the only thing I can think of is that they put all their eggs in the third party state of play and the turnaround for another one is too close. I don't know. It's very, very odd because I also would have thought that they would have showed it off at Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest.
Yeah, and I'm getting that same question. I'm like, it's still so soon after Jeff Keighley's thing. Why not just show it there where you have all eyes on it?
Yeah.
Like everybody's watching this thing. Why not?
Imagine Summer Game Fest not only showing off Last of Us Part 1, but also God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Like, that's a huge win for PlayStation at Summer Game Fest, which they haven't really had a huge presence at. Yeah. And that's just a win for just PlayStation in general to have that conversation on their end.
Yeah, and I mean, sure, you had like Last of Us Part 2 that everybody's talking about. It looks fantastic, right? But like, everybody's still talking about Starfield and Redfall. It'd be really awesome for PlayStation to get in the mix and go, actually, we have this thing called God of War. It's a known quantity. Y'all really seem to love it. It's a masterpiece, the last one. It's critically acclaimed, all that jazz. Yeah. So like, to me, it is strange that it's kind of like putting it in a blog post just isn't exciting. Like, Kyle, I'm going to say it. I was wrong for 2 years straight when I said, you know what? I don't need a convention. I don't need the big fanfare. I don't need to be in a goddamn tent. Just show me trailer after trailer and I'm going to be excited. Because I watched the Final Fantasy VII reveal from like a POV from a camera, like on Twitter. And I was just like, oh, I feel magic in this room. Like everybody's
the remake, right, with Adam Boyes on stage and stuff.
Yeah, and like everybody's freaking out, losing their mind, and I'm like, for this to just be a blog post, to me is just no matter what, I'm gonna be excited for God of War. God of War is to me a near perfect game, but like, it deserves the fanfare. It deserves this big event. It deserves a state of play. And I know Jason Schreier's like, I never said it was a state of play, and I think we all kind of just assumed it. Because God of War is just that big. Like, to me, Last of Us is big, but God of War is PlayStation. Like, that is, to me, the closest mascot you can get is Kratos.
Kratos is up there with Nathan Drake, Aloy.
And I think he stands above them all.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, I'm just like, it just being a video is a bummer. Yeah. But maybe they're holding that off for a state of play, maybe like in July or August when people are coming back from, their vacations.
Or they do just a blog post, and then in that PlayStation Showcase thing where we see a Spider-Man 2, actual Wolverine stuff, or whatever it might be, then we'll get more God of War stuff.
And that's the other thing. So I'm at this point where, Kyle, I know last week you're like, we're going to see another like showcase-like event.
Yeah.
Right. I'm kind of at the point where if I don't see something by like July, like mid-July, I don't think they're going to have like a showcase for this holiday. I do think they're just going to wait till September comes out, and that's when they're going to have their, big blowout future game showcase. And
if we don't see it by July, it'll be September like it has been the last year or two.
Yeah. But to me, I don't think this is Santa Monica's fault for not telling us. I do think this is a big wig going, no, let's actually give some air for the Nintendo event because a lot of our partners are there, and it's more being respectful to, and I know, quote unquote, Nintendo's the enemy. If you're a dumb fanboy, you think that, but it's really giving respect to the people at that showcase, like your Square Enixes that just announced stuff. Yeah. So giving them, air to breathe, and then coming out with, Kratos in God of War Ragnarok. That's what I'm thinking here.
Yeah. Now, you made a great point too, like with being disappointed if it's just a PS blog post, because you're right. Kratos has been around since PS2.
Yeah.
So I wish there would be a little bit more fanfare. Yeah. Roll out the red carpet for him. Like when you think of that onstage presence kind of Sony E3 moment, like think of when Corey played the game live on stage, and that was the game that started that whole E3 show. Yeah. And that was one of the best E3 shows ever.
Boy, I'm hungry.
Oh my God. It's chills.
DoorDash doesn't deliver in this neighborhood.
I was in the theater for that, and everyone just lost it.
Yeah.
Because we missed Kratos that much. And I don't know. I'm with you. I wish it was more than a blog post, because we've said it many, many times before. PS Blog is cool for us. It's not cool for everyone else who doesn't listen to podcasts or play games. They're not. It's not a way for them to go. I've never in all my years heard somebody just talk about games, be like, "Oh yeah, I read it on the PS Blog." No, They either like, oh yeah, I heard it on this show, or I saw this trailer on YouTube.
And I bet they're gonna come out with like, you know, putting that trailer on blast everywhere you go. So like, I'm not concerned like this won't get the air time. I just want I do want the pageantry, because God of War means something to so many people, and it means something different to so many people. So that's why I'm a little bit disappointed, but it's not in Santa Monica or the amazing, brilliant people working there.
No.
Drellish writes in, he goes, question for the show, Joe and Kyle. Let's look past at the release of God of War. God of War, March 22nd, 2005, on a Tuesday. God of War 2, March 13th, 2007, on a Tuesday. God of War 3, March 16th, 2010, Tuesday. God of War Ascension, we don't like to talk about it, but March 12th, 2013, Tuesday. God of War 2018, April 20th, YOLO, 2018, a Friday. Okay, all right, Drellish, I want to know where you're going here. So my prediction is that God of War Ragnarok Part 1 will release on Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022. You did the European thing where you put the day in front of the month. Don't do that. That's American.
Although that looks cool. It looks like a little 2011 sandwich.
Yeah, it does. All right, you know what?
On either side.
Europeans, you got to keep it just for this announcement.
Yeah.
They will also announce that this release will be the first in a trilogy. No, Drellish, I'm going to correct you. They said duology. So this is it. This is it, Drellish. All right, I love you. So expect 2 more games to come in the near future. So Joe, Kyle, do you think God of War lends itself naturally to be split into much bigger story arcs that tie within other media? What are your... I'd love to hear your thoughts. It's a great question. First, I'm going to say something I think we're all thinking. I think Kratos dies.
Absolutely.
I mean, you saw it on the wall. Like, spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
You see a big giant snake coming out of his mouth.
I mean,
I think it's happening.
If we want to get into the weeds of it,
I mean, let's not, but say we did, because there are. I know what you're talking about.
I'm saying world serpent.
Yeah, there's a world serpent theory.
There's some crazy things that could happen that Corey has not shot down at all.
No, and he's just like, I'm very surprised y'all got it on like the first try. And like, so let's give Vati Vidya his due click there. But yeah, I think that's my big thing. Kratos is Dunzo's, and I think Atreus is then the next God of War that goes off and maybe does like the Egyptian mythology. Like, I would like to see them travel other mythologies, maybe even some that we don't know. Like, I would like for God of War, like, let's break the trilogy stuff. Like, it doesn't need to be a trilogy. Maybe he's gone off and we're fighting the cool like serpent dragons of like China or like Japan, right? Or like maybe we're going to India. Maybe we're exploring the Aztec mythology. Like, use what is this amazing showcase of mythologies throughout different cultures and kind of just lend itself to God of War, I think, perfectly. I think just that type of adventure would be great.
Hear me out.
Okay.
I'd be so down for them to just do their own mythology and make it up. Full unique gods and goddesses for Atreus to go through and interact with. Their own thing. Yes, mythology, there's plenty of other ones like you mentioned that we can go to, which would still be cool. But I wouldn't mind them doing their own take on them.
I think what is more interesting than that is how are all these mythologies connected to each other?
That's fair.
And like explaining that, because like Odin's heard of Kratos or things that happened to that Greek pantheon, and he's getting concerned of why he's here. And I want that explained of, how can you just jump mythologies? How does this world work? That's, I think, incredibly interesting to me. That's what I want them to explore here.
Yeah, and that's fair. And like, it's called Ragnarok. Things are about to go down.
Yeah.
You don't call a game Ragnarok and everyone makes it out. Okay.
It's Ragnarok. Everyone's dying.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of death.
Spoiler alert. That's what happens at Ragnarok, What's it, the wolf boy, he eats them all, so there's something like that.
Something like that.
The Green Gorilla Gamer writes in, my God of War prediction release date is, drumroll please, November 18th, 2022. It's my sister's 18th birthday that day, and it would be super cool. But my question for you guys, do you think this is the last God of War release? There's been rumors that this is it. But a trilogy does make sense. The last God of War had a trilogy and then Ascension. Do you see them making a trilogy version of Kratos and then doing something similar for Ascension release afterwards? Perhaps a side story with another character instead of a prequel. It's the distant future, something like that. Thanks for cheering me up the past few weeks. I get a boost of serotonin every time I hear that intro song and your guys' voices, by God. This really is one of the best things I've ever listened to and ever will. Oh my God, this is so nice. Stop it, Green Gorilla.
Green
ever
Gorilla.
will? The
We love
Beatles
you.
exist. All right, come on. Not that much. Not that much. For
You heard
so
it here
many
first.
reasons.
We're bigger than the Beatles.
Take that, Paul McCartney, aka
Put it in the
my
podcast
dad.
Hall of Fame.
Put that one up.
Trophy,
FDR, make an
bigger than the
announcement. And that bigger than the Beatles. Is that a smash hit? You said polio was cured? Just a sugar cube? What the hell? Anyway. Yeah, so what do you think God of War goes after this? Do you think there's like an
that's a great
Ascension-esque game waiting?
I
love this.
hope
It's like
there's
even
not,
after
honestly.
the fact. We haven't even gotten this
Yeah,
game. They're just like,
exactly.
skip ahead.
I really hope there isn't like an Ascension. I feel like because that did so much harm to Kratos and God of War because they stretched it out too much.
Yeah.
And like, I love parts of Ascension, but that was not the God of War that I loved.
Yeah.
So like, I'd rather, I'm all for studios making a story and that's it. That's done.
Yeah.
I'm okay with like what we mentioned before if Atreus takes it over or it's somebody else, maybe a different god that we're following along, but I don't want them to keep pumping them out and having it lose its luster.
Yeah.
Like we're also at this point now, like when I think of other games that have been churned out a lot, like Uncharted, we're now at the point where I'm jonesing for another Nathan Drake game.
Yeah.
Or an Uncharted-esque game like in that universe. Because it's been enough time. Like I don't want a new game every couple of years. Like give me a break after a little bit.
Yeah. I think like not to poo-poo Microsoft at all. Again, we're not that type of podcast. But it's the way I kind of think of Gears of War. Like I love Gears of War, but it does feel kind of like machined at this point. It's like Coalition, you do this one thing and only this one thing. It's like, no, let's let Coalition do something else and experiment with something else. Like that to me, I think is what makes Sony Studios so great. Is it the sense that yeah, listen, if you guys have a flagship game like The Last of Us, we want you to make more of them. But there is a sense of freedom that you get to do something else. That everything has an end, and that's the brilliant thing to me why I love PlayStation Studios so much is there is a sense of like, we're finished with Uncharted, we're doing something else. You know? We're finished with God of War, we're doing something else. Like, that's what I really do love is it kind of feels... It kind of feels like in a moment, if that makes any sense.
Like Santa Monica had that canceled, I think, Battlestar Galactica project.
Yeah.
Or some space game they were working on that got canceled. Santa Monica space game? Yeah, please.
Go for it.
Yeah. I just want them to make new, original, creative things.
So, Kyle...
Because if you're doing the same thing over and over again, you're going to lose some of that juice.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Kyle... one thing I can't get it out of my head, and I just need to say it. I need to do it in the FDR voice. Penicillin does what? What the hell? And he didn't patent it? Madman! You have rectangles that could show you pornography? I couldn't bleep it in time. Oh my God!
Moving pictures.
Moving pictures. Who knew?
Oh, boy.
All right. So, when's this release date, Kyle?
Well, before we get to that, before we get into amongst all this craziness, Corey himself tweeted out a few hours ago.
Yeah.
He says, "Dear all, if it were up to me, I would share all the information when I know about it, but it is not up to me. So please be patient. I promise things will be shared at the earliest possible moment they can be. We make games for you. We get to make games because of you," with a heart emoji, and then Grogu sipping on some tea. Corey is the best. I love you, Corey, and I love the team there. So please be patient, everybody. Like they're human beings.
Yeah.
But that release date, though, no. I do think November is the date.
Yeah.
Or the month. I would, man, 11/11's right there.
It's right. It's sitting right in front of you.
Like, yes, we're not those toxic fanboy show. We're not gonna. But like, I love a little sauce. You know what I mean?
Ooh, let's not use the word sauce. How about a little spice?
Saucy num-nums?
I may need a new co-host. This is getting but yeah, like a little pepper.
Yeah, just a little spice.
A little seasoning.
Spice it up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think 11/11 is just sitting there. But I'm with Green Gorilla here. I'm thinking November 18th. Now, that said, that does take him out of the Jeff Keighley show. That's something to consider. Does PlayStation care enough about the Jeff Keighley show to maybe put it in front? Like, do they care about the accolades, or do they care more about the dollars and cents?
Or they're like, hey, this is the year Elden Ring came out. Do we care? It could be eligible next year, and then we have a repeat of Spider-Man versus God of War again.
Bingo. I actually think that. I think, well, first, at the end of the day, Sony doesn't really.
No, they don't.
The
care
accolades are nice.
Yeah.
Right? Like the 90s, the AAA, whatever.
Yeah.
The Golden Star. They like that. But I think they care more about if this thing is going to sell through the roof. And that's what they're first and foremost. So like Jeff Keighley show's nice, but Kyle, you took it from me. I think they look at Elden Ring going, yeah, it wouldn't hurt to miss this year.
And that's the thing. Like PlayStation already has probably a Game of the Year contender in Horizon.
Yeah.
So
it's not going to win, but like
it'll be nominated for sure.
It'll be nominated for sure. Yeah. Again, that game's amazing. It'll win different things. It's not Game of the Year because Elden Ring. Oh my God, guys, you play that? I know 13 million you did. It was pretty nuts.
What other predictions are we expecting?
Ooh, that's just.
Are we gonna get it like a collector's edition?
If we don't, I'm gonna riot. Will we get a PlayStation 5 plate?
Oh boy.
And then Scoop just has to scoop me up another plate.
Yeah, PlayStation, stop doing this. PS Direct.
Also, this is for the audience out here. You know, if the collector's edition drops, maybe pre-order another one.
Yeah.
You know, just DM us like, hey, I got to.
Hey.
Because you remember, PlayStation Direct doesn't like us. It seems like it's the only way that you're going to get limited editions now, which I hate. Because that dumb error that won't let us out through checkout. But yeah. But would you want like a plate for your PlayStation 5?
Would I want a plate? Probably.
Or just like a limited edition console itself?
Oh, I don't know. I at this point, like, I'd rather just a really cool collector's edition, like the Horizon ones.
Fair.
And that's pretty much kind of all I want. But what if we do get a collector's edition? What's that statue going to be like? Because the first statue is pretty dope.
It is really awesome.
The 2018 one is awesome. You can faintly see it behind me.
Yeah, same. Likewise. I think it's another like silhouette of Atreus and Kratos, but like Atreus is kind of leading it because I do feel like he is the future of it.
Sure.
That's what I'm thinking. What do you think?
I'm thinking it's a Thor, Kratos, and Atreus like fighting kind of thing.
Ooh, that would be dope.
Because you can't do another one where Kratos and Atreus are just beating up on like the
ghouls.
The ghouls, the oh my God, why can't I think of the name? The Draugrs. The Draugrs from the universe. Like, I feel like they have to do something big. Whether maybe it's just like the World Serpent, or Tyr, who's the other the Norse god of war.
Yeah.
Like there are other characters that they can use. Maybe it's just a dragon. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like I really love the Horizon one because of it's a huge. I forgot what they call it. Tremor tusk.
Yeah.
With like a little tiny Aloy. So it would be cool to have like another big enemy
Okay.
with like Kratos and Atreus kind of
Yeah.
hopping on his back.
I didn't like the Tremor statue. I feel like I'm far enough removed to say it.
Oh, man,
Wasn't
you're
worth it.
nuts.
Mine broke like in the box, like one of the arms just came and
You are
broke.
so hard on your things.
I'm not, Kyle. It
Jeff.
came like that. The guy's arm was broken, and like the tusks don't stay up.
Mine are
I'm gonna have to super
totally
glue it.
fine.
Oh, yours is totally fine. So, you know what, Kyle? Enough of this. We spent a lot of time on God of War, and just to let y'all know again, if we got that release date, we're gonna do
Let's
a
see
little
if we're
mini
right.
episode. We'll see who's right. So you're saying 11/11 just sitting there. I'm
Yep.
saying 11/18. Drellish is saying the 22nd, and Green Gorilla saying no. It's the 18th as well.
Okay.
Fair enough. That being said, over the weekend, we had some serious news. Now, as we do with every time the real world enters our sphere of PlayStation, I like to give y'all an out, strictly because maybe we don't see eye to eye. Maybe you, just like me, don't want to hear about real world stuff in video game stuff. No harm, no foul. So there is right here a time code where you could just skip ahead and you don't have to listen to this next segment because it is triggering, and honestly it's a rather personal thing. So with that said, you have an out. We love y'all. If you're still here, please come into this, I hope, with an open mind. So Kyle, take away the next story for us, sir.
Next bit of news that needs to be squared up is from Sam Barker over at Push Square. Sony studios collectively speak out in support of reproductive freedom. Earlier today, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned a landmark 50-year-old ruling that legalized abortion as a constitutional right nationwide. This was expected following an unprecedented leak earlier in the year, and it's now anticipated that over half of U.S. states will introduce restrictions or bans on the procedure moving forwards. As a consequence, many companies and brands are speaking out in support of reproductive rights. That includes PlayStation's numerous first-party studios. This is pertinent because it was previously reported that Sony had blocked its subsidiaries from commenting on the subject. Although Insomniac Games did privately make a $50,000 donation to charitable organization Women's Reproductive Rights Assistance Project, or the WRRAP, which was matched by the Japanese manufacturer. It all follows a controversial email sent by Group President Jim Ryan, in which he'd asked staff to, quote, respect differences of opinion, end quote, on the subject. This prompted a 60-page response from Insomniac Games, which was sent to PlayStation Studios boss Herman Hulst, demanding PlayStation leadership, quote, do better by employees who are directly affected, end quote. Sony has since implemented plans to provide financial assistance to employees who may have to travel to different states to receive reproductive care. However, up until today, the manufacturer had prevented its studios from commenting publicly on the matter. That stance has softened, with a coordinated blast from its major teams on social media. It's important to note that it's not just US devs like Insomniac Games and Sucker Punch that have spoken out in support of reproductive rights, but also European outfits such as Media Molecule, London Studio, and Guerrilla Games. Meanwhile, key employees like Naughty Dog co-presidents Neil Druckmann and Evan Wells have donated to charities such as NARAL and have had their contributions matched by the company.
I will state this. I'm looking into institutions and charities for us to take part of as a community. So understand that I'm not waiting idly by. I want to do something. That being said,
Absolutely.
you know, we talked about this when the news broke out, so you guys know where our stance is. I'm a dude. I should not have a say in whatever a woman wants to do, right? And whether you don't, don't support it because you are, someone of faith, or maybe it's not aligned with your moral compass, whatever, that's your choice. And I would respect, or hopefully you to respect other people's choices where maybe they're not of that faith, or maybe their moral compass is different, or maybe they're just, how can I say this nicely? They're like science.
Things you don't drive with. Yeah.
Yeah, things you do drive with. There you go. So please, again, respect everybody's opinion, but that's where we stand. Adamantly with women. And I've seen folks who are both of the aisle. And why I say like this is such a difficult subject and why it's so personal. It's so personal for so many people. But it's also, a lot of people are like think it's like black or white, right? Like this is an area that is so shade of gray. I know people that are left leaning that are pro-choice to an extent. And I know some people that like are Republican or like voted for Trump and they are aghast by what has happened today or the last few days. So like what I'm saying, it's like, it's personal and there's a lot of feelings towards it. It's personal and there's a lot of feelings towards it. And for me, seeing these corporations come out here and seeing all the studios collectively coming out in support of female reproductive rights, it's a huge 180 from what PlayStation proper stated over a month ago. And so rather than beat you all over the head of how I feel on this matter, and Johnson wrote in with my take on this or what I was thinking when I saw all the studios, every single PlayStation studio putting up their thoughts on the matter and supporting reproductive rights. And Johnson 5513 wrote in, with PlayStation Studios speaking out on reproductive rights, do you think they are putting their money where their mouth is by providing adequate insurances to their employees? Not specifically for abortion in general, but the gaming industry feels more like a gig economy, where people are hired on a contract for a project, do what they need, and then release them after their deal is done. Contracts depend on or could be determined if someone falls under their coverages, which either does or doesn't provide them with the essential insurances. Do you think that they are just saying what people want to hear, or are they giving their employees their needs? This is a really great question because it is taking everything out of it and saying, why now? What's changed from, the Jim Ryan quote of like, I own 2 cats, but we want a dog, but we don't know, to now every PlayStation studio coming out and saying, no, abortion is the right to abort is a human right, right? Yeah, that's a swift 180 from where it was. So, Kyle, why do you think PlayStation's made this move? Is it more business sense of like, we just want to keep our employees happy and people that are looking for their next position over at maybe PlayStation Santa Monica or, Naughty Dog, wherever, maybe they'll look somewhere else if we are kind of leaving women to dry?
I'm going to try to look at this positively and not try to think like they're doing it just for good graces.
Okay.
I truly do think that after the landslide of negative reaction to the Jim Ryan email.
Yeah.
I feel like somebody had to have sat down in that boardroom and be like, listen, we can't put a lock on our studios and tell them what they can or cannot support. Right? Like I understand the business sides of things, but like I really do think they had a long talk about that whole thing. And I think this is the results of that, of them giving the different studios the chance to speak out about the women, trans, and non-binary folks who are affected by this overruling. So like I'm choosing to hopefully think that this is a result of a good communication inside of the PlayStation HQ, and that they're coming out of it and realizing they can't do what they did last time.
To me, again, I have an unpopular opinion that will make everyone upset at me on either spectrum. This is definitely a bit of column A, little column B, where Jim Ryan saw his people were angry at him. A lot of people frustrated and visibly, audibly angry at them. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think Jim Ryan's like, oh, wow, I really stepped on the hornet's nest. This was a huge misstep from me, and I need to reevaluate how I approach this, which is, and what I like is not talking, Jim Ryan,
Yeah.
shut up, please. Let your
Yeah.
studios speak for themselves. And I saw one comment of like, well, I bet there's plenty of people at Insomniac that are pro-life, quote unquote. It's like, well, I bet they had a vote, and I think majority ruled. Like, I think what you're like, I think that's coming off of a feeling and not actual fact, right? When people say that, because real talk, when you take a look at this industry, where does it skew? It skews very much towards the left, right? In terms of ideology, at least the way I see it, outside looking in. So if you want people to work for you or to be happy at their work, you want them to kind of believe in the thing they're making and believe in the company and hopefully think that the company may have their back. That's how you have, that employee trust between employee and company. And if you don't have that, they're going to look for somewhere else. Like if someone at Naughty Dog now feels like, oh, wow, really, Jim? That's how you feel? Well, maybe I'll look for somewhere else, because you're right, N. Johnson. This is very much a gig-like economy with contracts. So there's someone whose contract is maybe up that maybe Sony wants to renew, and they turn away from them and go, no, I'll go somewhere else where you'll actually respect my other coworkers, right? Or you'll respect me, right? And that's why I think they did that. It's part of it is retention, and it's also right now everybody's thirsty for new talent. So if a new talent is looking and they're getting, responses from like Square, Xbox, Nintendo, and PlayStation, where are they going to go? They're going to go where they feel like they're going to have the best environment. And if that is an environment they don't want to be a part of, where they feel constrained by just voicing out their opinion, well, they're not going to go there. So I think it is a part of it is a business sense. The other part of it is Jim Ryan going, yeah, I did make a mess of things, didn't I? Maybe I don't know how to communicate with people. And on a personal level, and then readjusting their strategy here. It's also this, and I say this with all the knowledge of how things work. Companies don't say something if they know they're not going to be on the right side of history. They won't say anything if it's incredibly unpopular, because they'll lose money. So when you're seeing every single PlayStation studio speak out for women, for their reproductive rights, it's literally PlayStation, the bean counters at work going, oh, this is actually, reproductive rights. Who knew? Incredibly popular. People maybe want to say what they do in their own private setting. Oh, cool. Let's go out there and let's make a statement, because how we think when we identify ourselves with brands is, does those brands have the same morals that I do? And that is what people are kind of looking at. So why, like, when you see every company put up a Pride logo, they're not doing it out of the kindness of their heart. It's cool that they're doing it, but they're taking a look going, oh, people really like queer rights. Let's go make a shirt, put a rainbow on it, make half of the proceeds go to the Trevor Project. And you know what? We help a good cause. We look good doing it, make a little profit and some brand loyalty. Hell yeah, let's do it. And that's how business is done. So I'm telling y'all with my whole chest, this is how it's all rolling out. When you're seeing people like outside of gaming, JP Morgan is willing to fly people, their own employees, to places where you get, to adult, Planned Parenthood, right? That's telling you how this situation is so unpopular, or this decision by 5 men are so incredibly unpopular. And that's what people have to really look at here, honestly. So, fantastic question. Kyle, do you have anything else to add?
No, just if you're a man, just stop preaching about this. Just not saying what we just talked about is that, but I'm just saying, like, it makes me so sad that men in power are deciding millions of women, non-binary and trans people's rights. It just doesn't sit well with me at all.
No better way to.
And much love to everyone out there. I know you're going through it. If we can do anything, please let us know.
Yep.
Whether it's just, like, hey, you want to escape and want to play a game with us, I'm totally down.
If let's say it this way. I love how Liana Rupert over at Destiny, over at Bungie said it.
Bungie.
So we'll word it similarly, because who knows what trouble we could get in if we say the real thing out loud. Who knows what this, handmade like future is. If you're from an area that doesn't like podcasting, but you'd like to come on to our podcast, our roof is always open.
Mm-hmm.
I know the route to go to the podcast studio.
Yep.
We will help you. That's how we feel.
Yeah.
Love y'all. I've been
very much
dealing with it the best I can. And I'm sorry I did not have the best words to say here. But y'all know how we feel. Unabashedly pro-choice.
Yeah. We love you very much. And that's it.
Yeah. And Clarence Thomas could eat my whole fucking ass, a piece 100%. Of shit. All right. Bam. There you have it. That's that hard news. Again, I've been trying my best to kind of go through it, and we just got to keep fighting. The fight isn't over.
Not even close.
Just begun. So,
a lot of fighting to do on many different fronts.
Yes.
And we'll get it done.
We're going to look at the best way that we can make that difference.
Absolutely.
All right. Kyle.
Welcome back, people who tuned out. Welcome back.
It was as hard as you thought it was.
You're about to listen about Skull and Bones. Aren't you lucky you came back?
Pirates. A game about pirates.
Tom Ivan from VGC writes, Skull and Bones' release date and pre-order bonuses have seemingly leaked. A release date and pre-order incentives for Ubisoft's pirate game Skull and Bones have seemingly leaked. The bonuses listed below, including missions, a digital soundtrack, and an art book, were reportedly revealed after Xbox store listings for the game were updated. Oh boy, I'm sorry whoever's name this is. Aggiornamenti Lumia, who regularly
that sounds like an
on
Italian
listings
name.
I saw the hand motion out of the side of my vision. On listings that are added to the Xbox and Windows stores before they're made public, has also claimed that the long-delayed game will finally be released on November 8th, 2022. The leaks seemingly corroborate claims that Ubisoft will finally re-reveal the online pirate game next week. According to writer Tom Henderson, reporting for TryHardGuides.com, the publisher is gearing up to show gameplay and reveal details of the title's mechanics in early July.
So one of the reasons why, apparently, this comes from, I believe, Jason Schreier, but one of the many reasons...
I heard he is an insider.
An insider by the name of
Just
Jason
one
Schreier
insider,
may or may not live up his own, ass. Said that one of the reasons why this game is coming out now is because this studio is located in Singapore, and the Singapore government has given Ubisoft a grant to make this game. This game has been in development hell since 2017 or 2016, really, before the game even was revealed. And right now, the current build, or the build that was leaked, is rough around the edges.
I mean, this game, when was this game first unveiled?
Again, 2017.
Unreal.
Yes, and it's still
unreal.
It's still rough. So, Kyle, this is not a hype check. This is just an Ubisoft check. Do you think they're okay? You think they're all right?
I love the way you asked that.
You think they're ill?
They okay? Wow. They have so many studios, and on top of a few weeks ago when they just literally shelved the Prince of Persia remake.
Yeah.
Like a new studio is just taking over completely from the ground up. They need some help.
They need
they need some milk. Let's bring back an old meme. They need some milk.
I think they desperately need help, man.
Because they also have that Avatar game, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, some of it looks awesome, like the Mario Rabbids game. Awesome. October 20th. Can't wait. I love a good strategy game.
Can we real quick?
But yeah.
Why are we getting another February in the fall? Why is October
You're right.
now jam-packed?
God, there's so
and
many
November,
games.
like October's Overwatch 2, Forspoken, Gotham Knights, the new Star Ocean game, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Resident Evil Reverse, like all the big hitters.
All the games.
You know what I mean?
I mean, especially Reverse. Are you kidding me? That's kind of your material.
Exactly.
That was sarcasm. But yeah, this doesn't bode well, and it sucks. Because Kyle, I'm gonna be honest with you. Before the show, you're like, "Who wants to play this game?" I do. I love a good pirate.
Well, so here's the
I'm
thing,
addicted
though,
to Sea
like,
of Thieves again, Kyle. It's a problem.
I know it is, but the thing that I'm just shocked that it's taking so long for this game, and I realize making games is incredibly hard.
Yeah.
They had a great groundwork in the Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Yeah.
And Rogue with the ship battle. So like what are they why is this so hard? I don't know.
Yeah. Like what
they have such a good ground, a good basis for it.
What happened that changed that? That is such a great question.
Yeah.
I would love a post-mortem of this game's development.
Give me a no-clip doc.
Yes.
Get in there. Please.
Yeah.
Let us know what happened, Danny.
Very interesting. You know what? A company that doesn't seem to have development woes is FromSoftware.
Your favorite. FromSoftware.
Right. You know what? I had 2 good segues. We can have one bad one, you know? Take it away, Kyle.
No one tell the Podcast Hall of Fame about that last one.
He did what?
FDR, shut it down. Matt Kim over at IGN.
I gave you Social Security. I got to say whatever I want.
Penicillin. FromSoftware's next game is in the final stages of development. FromSoftware is finishing up their next game, which is apparently already near the end of development. In an interview with Japanese gaming website 4Gamer, FromSoftware and Elden Ring director Hidetaki Miyazaki revealed that the studio's next game... Did I mess it up?
No, you did. You did right. You stumbled a little bit, but I want you to put respect on Miyazaki's
I'm sorry,
name.
Miyazaki. I'm so sorry. Revealed that the studio's next game is already in the final stages of development. According to the interview, the publication asked Miyazaki back in 2018, around the launch of Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, how FromSoftware's 2 unannounced games were shaping up. One unannounced game would go on to become Elden Ring, but this other unannounced game is still in the works, and according to Miyazaki, quote, development is currently in the final stages, end quote. No word on what this game might be, but one of the high-profile leaks around FromSoftware suggests the studio is working on a new Armored Core game, the company's mech battle simulator. Miyazaki himself revealed that he is already working on yet another game as director, with plans to work, quote, on a more abstract fantasy than anything we've done in the past, end quote. The interview concludes with Miyazaki sharing that along with these new titles, more updates for Elden Ring are in the works, considering each of the past Souls games like Dark Souls and Bloodborne received fairly substantial DLC campaigns. We can likely expect the same for Elden Ring.
I don't think so. We'll start there. Kyle, Elden Ring, immensely popular, has put FromSoftware on the map in the mainstream. It's been already here. Loving it. Life's been great. Elden Ring, good. Love it. But Kyle, do you think that means Elden Ring DLC? Elden Ring 2?
First of all, what the heck kind of Elden Ring DLC could it be?
Right.
A whole nother island? A whole nother sub-level? What else could they add to that game? There's still so much of the game I haven't seen, and I platinumed it. I mean, I don't understand.
That said, though, like Bloodborne had the Old Hunters DLC.
They 100% did, but to think about what that DLC was, that is such a small area of Elden Ring.
What do you mean?
I'm just thinking of what the Old Hunters DLC is.
Yeah.
And if you were to take those areas and put it on the Elden Ring map, it's probably like half the size of Leyndell or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, you know, that's a great question. It's like, what does this look like? Because what makes, I think, Elden Ring work so well is that
exploration. Just go anywhere.
The exploration, how everything is just seemingly connected. Even the places that are out in the distance, I feel like you don't need a summoning stone to get there. You can just get there. And so, like, how do you make it work? Is it just like a portal you walk into, like any other like From game, or is there something connected here? And how, you know, with this DLC is like, you're right. If it's just another area and it's small, well, like, how is that going to feel special to what Elden Ring is, where everything is just one giant thing that's connected? I actually don't think there's DLC here, Kyle.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And I'm going to say something pretty crazy. I don't think there's an Elden Ring 2.
I'd be shocked if there was.
Oh, really? You're with me on this boat.
I'm with you because I don't know if it was confirmed or maybe just a rumor, but I feel like they were also talking to a different author.
Right. Oh, right.
Brandon Sorensen, I think is his name. I could be wrong.
For something
but
high fantasy.
Exactly. So like, I don't think they want to go to this. If they were going to make an Elden Ring 2, why not just stay with R.R. Martin?
Right. George Railroad himself.
Exactly.
That's a man that built the whole entire railroad? It's FDR. Enough.
FDR.
It's enough.
Whoa.
This bit is done. But like, you know,
Who killed the Night King? Shut up, FDR. Don't worry about it.
We still haven't got there in the books. He still has to finish it. Anyway, but when it comes to like Miyazaki is a man that makes single games. Like, there's a reason as to why Dark Souls had 3 games in its repertoire. Usually, though, Miyazaki likes to be a one and done. He likes to tell a singular story and move on to a different idea. So I think like the makers of Elden Ring sounds just as good for their marketing department when they go pitch the next, you know, game, whatever it is. So I actually don't think Elden Ring's next, and an Elden Ring 2 is happening. And just on that level of like, Elden Ring is a game changer. And I think the one hard thing outside of looking in is like, how are you going to top a 96 on Metacritic? Like, just that, like, this game changed it all. How can you actually build upon that foundation? Is just kind of nuts to me. And that's why I kind of think Elden Ring 2, I don't think it's there. I think this Armored Core game, Kyle, I think that's the next game.
Have you heard about this? Hey,
have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
What?
Mech Battle Simulator, Kyle. Have you ever played Armored Core?
I never have.
Yeah.
It's another gap in my gaming, but like, I know it's huge. It's been around forever. I can get down now that I'm a Souls boy. Now I can admit that.
Do you think it's going to be a Souls-like game? Because, you know, Armored Core is a mech simulator. Like, you break an arm, you got to pay for it type of deal.
Yeah,
You're not going to urgent care. You're going straight to
You're going to Jiffy Lube.
That's right.
I don't know if I'm in for that,
mm-hmm.
but if they could do like, I would love to see a FromSoftware, sci-fi mechanical Souls game,
mm-hmm.
like with robots and wires and gears and like
gizmos and gadgets,
kind of like the Surge. Even though I've never played the Surge series, but like something on that front and not as fantasy.
Mm-hmm. I like where
that's kind of what I want.
Yeah, I like where your head's at, and I think for me, when it comes to like From Software, they explore so much within each mechanic. Like Sekiro is them dealing with this certain type of melee combat that's focused around parrying and getting a rhythm down, whereas like Dark Souls is about this fantasy class-based RPG. You know, like Bloodborne is about this concept of like learning from your mistakes or correcting them via the blood system. And
it's gothic horror, Lovecraftian.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Perfect. And like Elden Ring is them exploring their open world repertoire as well. Like, hey, we've done these amazing labyrinth type, you know, concepts. What if we just make it an open world? And so to me, I'm thinking the next step to kind of explore is customization. You know, we look at customization in From Software of like limitless. You can literally make Shrek in From Software and have him fight things.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking more of like the items that you're carrying and how that differs from your playstyle. Elden Ring plays with it a lot, but just think about from your armor sets, from your weapons, and then changing your abilities. Like, I think that's another thing from Elden Ring that they can even expand here in terms of this sci-fi setting that is Armor Core and just dealing with different mechs and different loadouts. I think that has some promise there. I don't know. Am I sounding a little nuts?
Yeah. No, not at all. I there's definitely some promise there. That is a critique of the Souls games that I've played is I think the only game, and this could just be me being naive, the only game that I think that actually matters what armor you have on is Bloodborne in some cases. So like, but even then it's
I think
small.
Elden Ring would be the most.
Sure.
Yeah.
But like, I would love for them to really each armor set actually has huge buffs and debuffs and differences to them, and make them as unique as the weapons.
Yeah.
And have different kind of like maybe a different much like Elden Ring had different power. I forgot what they called them. The R2 special power up, the heavy attacks or whatever they are.
Yeah.
But like each armor set will give you a different skill.
Yeah.
And like a job system, but with armors. Like I think that would be super cool. Again, more customization. I would love that.
Yeah, I would love that too. And that gets me really, really excited, to be honest. I think that's the perfect way to go. Because, making it where it's about the loot, making it about not like the grind for something better. Like the one thing about Elden Ring was like, I had that samurai gear on for a very long bit of the game. Now think about everything that I'm picking up or scavenging, having to think about, okay, how does this like affect my loadout, or can I actually use this and upgrade it?
Give me a reason to switch my sword.
Exactly.
Once I found that one thing, now it's what I used. I leveled it up to max and I was done.
And
give me a reason to switch that out.
Thinking about how they could use that methodology of like or what their methodology would be, their answer to that would blow my mind.
As long as it's not durability and the weapons break, I'm fine.
Yes.
Can you imagine in the middle of a boss fight, your saw cleaver breaks in Bloodborne?
It would hurt my soul.
it would suck.
So that said, though, no Bloodborne 2.
At least from Software.
Yeah, I definitely think Blue Point's making that remake.
Boy.
I'll take anything at this point.
Yeah,
it's just anything in the veins. That's.
Hey Nixus, make Joe his PS5.
I'll take a PC port that plays it at 30 frames. That's how desperate I am. Just notice me. Just notice my needs, please. All right, Kyle, it's time for Flash News. Gotta go fast. Gotta run. Gotta go. Hey, Kyle, have you seen this? Have you heard about this? PSVR 2 bundle contents and cable length shown via leaked photo. This comes from Rebecca Smith over at PS Lifestyle. Sony has shown off a plenty of marketing images for their upcoming PSVR 2 headset, but one thing that has been conspicuously missing are in those images is the cable. A leaked photo from an indie studio has now given us a better idea of what PSVR 2's cable length, as well as the bundle contents that players can expect in the box with their headset. Sony has yet to announce the length for the PSVR 2 cable, but it appears to be longer than the 4x4 meters length of the original PSVR cable, according to the leaked photo. We already knew this wouldn't be the breakout box, but there's also a lack of volume control on the box and on the cable too, which suggests that the volume control may be through the headset itself, just like the second iteration of PSVR. The photo also shows Sense controllers will come with wrist straps aside from the PSVR 2 headset and then the two Sense controllers. The bundle also seems to include a couple of other cables. The first one looks like a USB cable, possibly charging the Sense controllers. It's difficult to make out the contents in the second bag, but it could be a USB cable or it could be standard earbuds to use with your PSVR 2. And it will not have an onboard sound, instead choosing to have a 3.5 stereo headphone jack so players can use headphones of their choice.
Also, the 4.4 meters is equal to about 14 feet.
Oh, wow. So it's longer than that.
It's a long cable.
Got some length to it. So, Kyle, I saw the images online. This thing looks nice.
Looks very sleek.
Just wanted to let y'all know. It looks nice. Longer cable. Got wrist straps.
The fact that they have a box with like everything that's going to come in it when you buy it, it's closer. It's close.
It's getting really close. I still think it's early next year, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
EA. Kyle, have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
I've heard of EA.
All right.
In the game.
The Electronic Arts?
Yeah.
Has set to reveal several major games in July. This comes from Rory Young over at Game Rant. Electronic Arts is one of several companies that decided to skip June's major gaming announcement events, confirming it would not be holding an EA Play event this year. Instead, EA has said it would announce upcoming game releases for 2022, quote unquote, when they are ready, unquote. June may not have fit its schedule, but it looks like July will be a much better fit. EA was reportedly planning on individually announcing 3 major game releases in July, including the upcoming FIFA, Need for Speed, and Skate titles. Fans of FIFA, Need for Speed, and Skate series likely won't have to wait long for further information to report this. If this report is true. So, Kyle, July, days away. When do you think we're getting these? Do you think there's actually going to be also an EA Play event? Or where are these games actually lining up?
Man, I don't think there will be an actual EA Play event. I do think it... Oh, wait, hold on. I'm thinking...
I couldn't scratch. Yeah.
I'm thinking, do they mean EA Play event like in person?
No, I'm thinking like...
Or just the video version is what they're talking about not happening.
Like Greg Miller's in a studio talking stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if we get that, but I do think at some point they'll do like a big blowout on FIFA and Need for Speed and Skate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know when. Maybe second week in July.
Kyle, does any of these games tickle your fancy?
Not particularly. I never could get into Skate because I like the arcadiness of Tony Hawk a little bit better.
Same.
But I appreciate what Skate has done and what it is. It's really impressive and cool. Need for Speed needs to wow me to have me come back and play a game in that series. I'm just hoping for old school Burnout. That's what I want back.
Honestly,
but that's never happening.
Yeah, sadly. I would love that too.
Happening.
I would love that so much.
And is this the first FIFA without the partnership?
No, that's the next one. That's where it's like
that's
EA,
next year.
Football club or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So this is the last FIFA with EA and FIFA, which is going to be pretty crazy. Like if you think about it,
they've had it forever.
They've had it forever, but like FIFA's going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Whoever they choose.
FromSoftware presents.
That's it. That's the art record game. And you break your legs every time you kick the ball, so you got to make sure you
they actually
get it right.
send you yellow and red cards in real life.
That's right.
They will send them to your house.
They'll wheel FDR out there. That's right. We're making this bit one last time. But no, for me, that's a crazy thing. It's like, who will they choose? And I think like people like 2K want to get in
sense.
Really bad to the sports arena. I think that's probably who they would choose next.
I mean, they're already killing it with NBA. This year's wrestling game is stellar.
Yeah.
So why not just get on the soccer train?
Absolutely.
Convince the NFL to bring it back to 2K because, man, that NFL 2K game.
Absolutely.
Whew.
So, yeah, to me, does this lend to to the idea that maybe there's a showcase somewhere? Maybe it's Xbox, maybe it's PlayStation. No?
I don't know. Probably not.
All right, fair enough.
Because we already got the third-party thing.
You're right.
To play.
And FIFA's big enough that like people will look at it. Like,
absolutely.
May not be for us, but it's going to be for millions of folks. So
what I'm waiting for is the EA big,
That's
showcase.
Right. That's right.
SSX, NFL Street, NBA
Also,
Street,
just show me Dead Space again. God, I'm eating so well, man. Oh my God, Callisto Protocol, Dead Space remake, God, God of War Ragnarok, November 18th.
All those sweet num-nums in your mention.
Kyle, let's talk about the next.
Sammy Barker at Push Square writes, Sony's InZone $899 gaming monitor will automatically optimize PS5's HDR. So that model number is the M9. It's $899.99. It's 27 inches, 4K IPS monitor with 144 hertz refresh rate. The $529.99 alternative, the M3, this drops the HDR's peak brightness from 600 nits to 400 nits and removes all of the aforementioned auto dimming features, but bumps the refresh rate as high as 240 hertz and VRR remains. The downside is that it tops out at 1080p, but you still get that uber fast 1 millisecond response time. And when it comes to the headphones that were shown off, the wireless H9, which promises 32 hours of battery life and digital noise cancellation, edition at $299.99. They are pricey, but they come with some pretty in-depth features, like the fact that PC players can install a companion app, allowing them to install a custom spatial audio profile. Much like the infamous Mark Cerny presentation for PS5, the setup process will include taking photographs of your ears, which the company claims can help improve the headset's audio output.
He will do anything to get your ears. Someone needs
What was Mark Cerny's brother? What was the bit we had? Was it Tim?
Tim or Tom Cerny. I just want your ears. In any case possible, I will have them. They will be mine.
Oh man, the
This man has folders full of ears.
100% he does.
And I'm not talking on a computer. I mean, it does somewhere.
The Trapper Keeper.
Yeah.
The 5-star folders.
5-star Trapper Keeper is my greatest companion that houses so many of my brilliant collection.
Hey Mark, what's in the briefcase you're carrying around?
I wonder why PlayStation doesn't return our emails, you know.
$229.99 H7 and the $99.99 H3, the latter of which is wired. They all look similar, but obviously the sound quality dips on the H3, while the H7 removes digital noise canceling, but actually ups the battery life to 40 hours. And yes, as alluded to earlier, the entire line will sponsor the upcoming fighting game tournament EVO 2022.
Kyle, I called it, man.
You 100% did.
What did I say last episode? Rewind the clocks back. This is what I said. They got this EVO tournament. They're going to show some stuff off. They're going to put that hardware in. It's just, you're going to see banners full of them. Like, this is it. This is them. Yeah. Really, it's all about that synergy, baby. And they're really doing it. Even when it comes to like how these things look, they look like they're PS5s. And this is not coming from PlayStation directly. This is coming from, again, the hardware division of Sony. So like, you're seeing Sony working in tandem within the various companies of the Sony umbrella, unlike we've ever seen before. I'm sorry, Kyle.
Are we shocked, disappointed that we didn't see the DualSense Pro?
No, because that comes later.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. I think that comes out of like a showcase or maybe just a silly little blog post. But
yeah. Are any of these going to be in your house? Are they going to be in the Badvid house at some point? These monitors or headsets?
$900. I love what my one buddy says. Like $900, just go out there, buy an LG. You know, buy
just buy TV.
But like, I get it. Like that response rate is incredible. Like the refresh rate. I understand monitors and TVs not 1-to-1. I'm not saying that. I'm not a genius, nor am I a doctor. I don't know. I'm not an expert on these things, but. All I know is like it's not a 1-to-1, but like me paying $900, I bet it when I turn on this monitor, I better see the Lord Jesus Christ. Like that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But so I'm not going to be replacing my monitor, but the headset, 32 hours battery life, digital noise cancellation, that does really interest me.
So you're going to send your ears off?
Yeah, listen, If Mark's, if I gotta feed the fetish, I will. And I'm not here to fetish shame either.
Yeah,
he has a thing for ears. He wants them. He can have them. They're not that special. I can tell you, I got dumb hearing. You're not gonna get much out of these lips. But like 32 hours battery life for the H9, that's awesome. 40 hours of battery life, like that's insane. So I am actually very curious. I'm gonna reach out to Sony and see maybe we could strike up a deal with Mark.
Maybe some review copies? I don't know.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, just take one lobe right off, and it's yours. Mark. I just like them. I like how they feel on my skin. Mark Cerny, enough. I'm sorry. Wow. This is a lot of different energy on this show, and I apologize. Kyle.
Yeah.
I'm going to get one of those headphones. That's guaranteed.
Sure.
You know what I'm also going to get that's guaranteed?
What's that?
The PlayStation Essential games for July, and they have been officially revealed. These games are Crash Bandicoot 4 for PlayStation 5 and PS4, Dark Pictures Man and Medan for PS4. Guess what? You can skip it. It's not that good. And Arcade-ageddon for PS5 and PS4. So 2 PS5 games and technically 3 PS4 games. Kyle, what do you think about the lineup?
Everyone needs to play Crash Bandicoot 4 because that game is so damn good.
Yep, it's a hoot and a half.
That's a great get for this. Arcadegeddon, I think looked cool. Not my kind of thing. It's I think a battle royale.
Is it? No, I think it's just like an arcade multiplayer shooter.
Oh, okay. It
Yeah.
could just all right. That's fair. And yeah, Man of Medan is cool. They're kind of riding on the quarry that just came out, and I think that's a good get for it as well. I think it's a solid week.
Yeah.
This is like without like what the refresh of all the other things are too.
Right. And
Yeah,
we
the
could
PS
expect that, I believe, in the middle of the month. Yeah. So I'm really interested of how the new tier systems lineups look again as we get further and further. I'm very interested of what the extra games and the premium games are going to look like for July. 100%.
Yeah.
Hey, Kyle, are you holding on to something?
I sure am. My little play date.
Prepare the drop. Here are the latest steals and deals headed to the PlayStation storefront. Very proud because my voice is dying. On the 28th of June, get ready. A whole lot of games that I've never heard of.
A lot of games.
Designa 6 complete.
Disgaea.
Yikes. PS5 and PS4.
I had to help the weebs out there for a second.
Thank you.
We
got into the weaves. We got right back out. DNF Duel, PS5 and PS4. Escape Academy on PS5 and PS4. Phobia Saint Defina Hotel on PS5 and PS4. I believe our friends over at Season Gaming has a review, so go check that out. And XEP, I believe, has a dev interview. As much as I hate shilling for my good friend Luke Lore, he does pay an exorbitant amount of money for that shout out. $500, a matter of fact. No, he does not. That was a lie, but, at this point, Luke, you owe me. Ice Cream Surfer for PS5. Indigo 7 Quest for Love. PlayStation 5. Little Noah, Scion of Paradise, PS5, PS4. MX vs. ATV Legends on PS5 and PS4. I picture that game of people wielding their MX and ATVs and they're fighting each other to the death. Don't give me gameplay to prove me otherwise. It's just what I'm thinking in my head. Night Detective, not to be confused with Day Detective. Decipher Manor on PS4. Oh, is that how you really spoke with Decrepit?
Yeah, Decrepit Manor, yeah.
The Decrepit Manor on PS4. Outriders, World Slayer on PS5 and PS4. Tour de France 2022 on PS5 and PS4.
The Outriders thing, that's just the expansion,
DLC.
Right?
Yeah.
The DLC?
I heard it expands it quite a bit, which is awesome.
Oh. Right.
The 29th of June, you get Dragon Blaze PS4. Hillbilly Doomsday PS4.
Ooh. I found the game I'm looking up.
Oh, God. Patchy 2 on a roll on PS5 and PS4. Soul Divide Sword of Darkness on PS4. Strikers 1945 on PS4. Taco Tom 2. Not to be confused with Taco Tom 3 on PS5, PS4. The Basketball Bee on PS5, PS4. The Legend of Bumbo on PS5, PS4. Guys, these are real games.
Bumbo!
June 30th. Arcade Archives. Thunder Scepter on PS4. Cuphead, The Delicious Last Course, which I will be playing this weekend, no doubt.
Yeah.
Again, Outriders World Slayer, yet again. Don't know why it's releasing twice. This game's so nice, they're releasing it twice on PS5, PS4. Rabbids Party Legends on PS4, and Galactic Junkers on PS5, and F1 2022 on PS5, PS4, and Insta Sports All-Stars on PS5. This is probably the longest the drop has ever been.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, can I tell you a story?
Oh, God, what's Hillbilly, whatever.
Once upon a time when entire... already off the bat,
yeah.
This is how it was written.
Uh-huh.
I am not missing a word here, everybody.
Okay, God.
Once upon a time when entire planet was in great danger, not a entire planet, an unknown enemy turned almost everyone into zombies. Chaos ensued. The rest of the people are trying to survive. It seemed that everything has come to an end. But among the frightened people, there's a hero who's ready to save humanity and eradicate the cause of disasters. A hero from a small village called Rottenville. Uncle Billy. He will pass through swamps, caves, deadlands, deep pits, and tall buildings until he finds the source of disaster. And then he will eliminate it. You play the role of this brave man and go on a difficult journey to save humanity. Good old Uncle Billy.
Oh, man. Yep. Yep. This I'm looking at this game and it looks exactly what you think it would look like.
Yeah, you're probably picturing 100% correctly.
Yep.
Hey, that Cuphead, that's going to be a 90 plus for our fantasy critic team,
I'm pretty
right?
sure. Yeah. Just like that.
Just like Monster Hunter Sunbreak.
That's right. God bless.
Yeah.
All right.
We're coming up, Joe.
We're coming up. We're getting up there. You guys should get nervous. That said, Kyle, it's time for our favorite segment of the night, and that is the Sony Pony Express. Yeehaw! That's right. Savoy, I'm gonna play that Hillbilly Simulator, whatever it's called. I'm gonna love it. I'm sorry if y'all leave us because of this episode. I understand. I had a dark roasted coffee, and I think that's what set the mood. Savoy Prime writes, with Sony not being able to get PS5s on shelves and mostly being quiet about game news, do you feel like they're losing a lot of ground to Microsoft and Nintendo? ? I mean, let's be honest. Xbox has been outselling them. Like a month here, a month there. You know, they're doing really good in the United States. They're doing amazing in Japan.
Yeah, like, it has been
they're good.
A show of promise, I think, over the last week. There's been a lot of PS5 drops.
Yeah.
Like a lot more, hey, there are PS5s available to buy. And so it seems like it's ramping up.
Yeah, I do think we're starting to see the alleviation that was, you know, the component shortage starting to maybe alleviate.
Still going to be hard to get, but like it's getting better.
It's getting better. We promise it's getting better. But are they losing a lot of ground because they're not doing a lot of news? I don't think so. I just think that Microsoft's done such a great job communicating what they are now. Way better than PlayStation. I think, like, you know, the feeling that there is this tectonic shift in Microsoft's culture is something to kind of applaud. As they get better, that means PlayStation's going to have to look at what they're doing wrong or what they can improve on and do better. You know, to me, I don't focus on like the sales or whatnot. So like, I honestly don't know what the number is unless I've read it on the show, you know, or unless I get it out for the show, because it's not my focus, but it is something to kind of take a look at. I do think PlayStation needs, titles to get excited about. And I know that sounds silly because we saw Wolverine and Spider-Man, but what I'm trying to say is like, we need to see the broad roadmap. We know the broad roadmap for Microsoft, and it's pretty darn impressive. Whatever you think of their, you know, most of those games are for me, but like they're speaking for someone out there. So I think once we get that broader roadmap of like not just like your Spider-Mans, but the next whatever, you know, the other 18 studios that are working on something that we don't know what they're working on, start showing us their games, then, you know, I think we're gonna get that. It's like
we're in an open world game, and we're only can see our starting village, and there's still fog surrounding the rest of the map.
Exactly.
There are a lot of things under that fog that we are waiting to see, but right now we only see that small little area, and we want that fog to lift a little bit.
And for Nintendo, again, Nintendo is an enigma. But I love there's this one article, and it's totally right. Like GameSpot was like, ever since since I've owned my Steam Deck as an opinion piece, I care less and less about my Nintendo Switch, something along that line. And I could not agree more. Ever since I've owned my Steam Deck, I don't even look at my Switch. Like, that's just going to be my Splatoon console. Like, the Steam Deck is getting a workout for me that I'm even, surprised by. Like, I'm trying out the Final Fantasy VI, guys.
Woo!
And I got an hour in and I fell asleep, but I'm trying it.
Oh, man.
I was really tired. It speaks nothing to the game. I'm very tired.
That's fair.
But, like, over the week, I'm going to be chilling out, poolside, playing Final Fantasy VI on my Steam Deck. All the cool little indies I'm playing on my Steam Deck because it's going to probably run better than my Nintendo Switch. And that's what I think Nintendo should start getting a little nervous about. They should start shaking a little bit of like Steam, Valve. Seems like this thing's an actual hit and people want more of it. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Kyle, what do you think?
I 100% agree on that point.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Katie gave us 2 amazing questions this week. So shout out to Katie. So my question may be really easy or hard. Ooh-wee. You guys, that was her. She wrote that ooh-wee, by the way. You guys got a perfect, do you guys have a perfect game? A game that is a 10 out of 10 and will forever stay that way. Mine is The Last of Us Part 2. God bless. And yes, I know the game is very divisive, but I love it. There are some games that just have such an impact on your life, and Last of Us Part 2 is certainly did. Great story, fantastic characters, intense, fun gameplay. I will forever preach this. Has the best AI in gaming.
Preach it, Katie.
My buddy Ains would definitely disagree with you there. He has thoughts, but not me. I think they're great. Keep up the awesome work, you guys, and I love you. I love you too.
Love you back.
Okay. Perfect game.
I have a lot of perfect games, so this is a bad question for me.
Here's the thing. I think I said it on past shows. I no longer have a favorite game.
Oh, yeah.
I have a bunch of like games that are like, this is the S tier. This is great. And for me, it's Bloodborne, it's Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, and Last of Us Part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I hate the debate between what do you like more, Part 1 or Part 2. It's like, the thing about Part 1 is like you didn't know what to expect. And it hit you so hard in the gut. It's special, and it's a unique type of special because no one did it before they did in such a way, you know.
Yep.
And then Part 2 was just improved upon the mechanics of it and told a story that you now can expect where it's going. If you can, you know, think of it like that. You have an idea of what The Last of Us is at Part 2. You did not know walking into Part 1. I think that's better worded.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So those would be in my top.
If I were to just throw a few out there, Last of Us 1 and 2 for sure. I would throw in Final Fantasy 7 in there. I would throw Star Ocean: The Second Story. Please, for the love of God, Square Enix, bring it over here to the West.
That's right.
How dare you? It's the only Star Ocean game I can't play on my PlayStation 5 right now.
Sky.
I would put God of War 2018. I'd put Spider-Man 2018. There's too many. I can keep The Walking Dead Telltale Season 1.
So good.
Celeste. Like there's I have way too many. I'm not picky. If I love a game, I love the game. Yeah. Like it's hard for me to not just gush about them.
Yeah, absolutely. What was it? There's something else I wanted to add to it. Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Or actually, to me, they kind of mirror my love for like Part 1 and Part 2 of The Last of Us. Because like, to me, Ocarina of Time, I never saw a game like it. For so many others out there, never experienced a game like it. And like, you know, Majora's Mask was different. It was darker, but not different in the way of like, how can I say it? It played with the mechanics of one differently, and it told a much darker, more drab, dreary story. But to me, left such an impact on me that I just love so much. So that's like the same energy I have too. Like for Part 1 and Part 2, it's my Ocarina and Majora's Mask effect. I was actually thinking about that earlier this week while I was working. So yeah, and when it comes to another like perfect game, probably Halo and Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal. Those are two real, like, I love those games so much. So there you go. Those are my perfect.
Control. I gotta put Control in there.
That just for the song alone. Una writes, and this is the last question of the night. Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. My question this week is: what video game speedruns are your favorite and always fun to watch? SGDQ this week, and it will always SGDQ is this week. And it always is fun to see what speed tech that the games we love always have in store for us. So I throw the ball to you guys. What speedruns are worth the watch for you guys?
I don't know about you, Joe.
Go for it.
I love games done quick.
Yeah.
I love AGDQ. I love SGDQ. I love every single event they do. My favorites are watching people blaze through Bloodborne and Sekiro.
God bless.
And using all the skips. My God, these people are insanely talented. I don't understand the amount of time it took for them to get to this point.
Yeah.
Like dozens of thousands of hours, I think it needed to really to do it that well. Another one, Celeste. I love watching Celeste speedruns because that game is super difficult and see people do it so quickly. A really fun one is the recent Dooms.
Ooh.
Where they have to go and 100% it on the hardest difficulty and just see the speed and precision that you already need in that game, but then also on the hardest difficulty and to speed run it and beat it in an insane time. These games are, I love games done quick. They're amazing.
So I don't do speedruns often, but when I do, I actually go to Devs React. It's a series on IGN.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the most unique ones ever because it's literally developers talking through a speed run of someone else's. So like they've done one for Tunic, they've done it for Shantae. I saw the one for like Halo. They have like a bunch.
Crash Bandicoot 4 has a great one where they give each other points depending on if they kill the speedrunner on a part of the level that they designed.
That's awesome.
It's a really fun one to watch.
Yeah, so like that to me, oh my god, they have one for Sifu. Someone beats it in 20 minutes. Someone beat Halo Infinite in 29 minutes.
Whew.
They just skipped all the boring cutscenes with the bad guy. I already forgot his name, Mr. Krabs. Ooh, I'm watching this one. Multiple Portal speedruns. This one's 22 minutes long.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is so
They're
fun because to me, it's also informative. Like, you're getting how the devs made this game or, like, the levels themselves. Like, hearing the devs talk about Halo's library and why it was so long and so arduous of a journey and how it was just, like, heaped together and scrapped together in the last minute. Like, that, to me, is so fascinating. And then seeing them react to people purposely breaking their game and them not going, oh, they shouldn't have done that. Just being impressed.
Yeah.
Or by going, oh, wow, they used that exploit. I didn't think they would be there. That is always what I'm looking for. I always love the insight that comes from the
I think I forgot what the last Games Done Quick event was, but there was a Kano one that was very, very fun to watch.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, there are a lot of really cool skips. I was like, oh, interesting. That's cool.
Well, Kyle, that's been the trophy room this week. Unless so far, you know,
this is the part one.
Let's be honest. We had a 30-minute talk about God of War, and let's get real with you. Probably redundant at this point, right, guys? People that are watching this after the God of War podcast. Pretty redundant, right?
Or are we going to have tomorrow while we're working, have another text shade where we're just sending each other gifts of like, oh, where is it? Have faith. Nope, I think you're lying, Joe.
I love that. I was totally BSing you. I'm like, have faith. It's happening today.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm like, I had no clue. I love it because you're like, I think you know something I don't. Half the time, I'm clueless.
Sometimes Joe likes to play. He has a secret insider that he won't share with me, so he can sound smart on the show.
That's right.
That's what I think sometimes. But now I'm just learning it's just Joe being Joe.
It's just me, just being a troll, just getting some life out of Kyle. You know, I'm like what's the guy Rob Serrano? He gets half of his predictions wrong on Twitter, whatever that guy is. I'm like that, but for Kyle only. Just for you. It's not even for clout. It's just for teasing. Playful teases. Anyway, Kyle, listen, that's been the show. This was fantastic. This was a lot of chaotic energy this episode, but I'm so happy that we had it.
Of course.
Anything you'd like to spotlight before we head on out of here, man?
Sure. Myself, Mr. KSEP, on Twitter, PSN, all the things. Go follow 61indie at SIXONEINDIE.com and on Twitter and on YouTube and on all the things. We had a really important episode of IndieCast last week where we had Kelsey, Fiona from Point in Progress, and Courtney from Talk Limited on, where they just got to have a really good discussion amongst themselves about the Roe v. Wade stuff on Friday. So go check it out and listen to some of the people that are actually impacted by this monumental, awful decision in my case. But I won't harp on it too much. And yeah, I love you. Go hug somebody. Tell them that you love them. Be kind to one another. You know the deal.
You can find me over at Mr. Badbit. You can find the show over at PS Trophy Room. And again, we're going to try to do something. I don't know what yet, but we're working on it. It's been a hard couple of days for so many folks out there.
Yep.
And I'm sorry if my words weren't the best tonight or whatever have you, but just know I'm here for you. Again, anything y'all need, I'm here. So, with all that said, with all that out of the way, no plugs here. Keep your wits about you. Keep hunting. Love y'all. Keep your wits about you. Have a nice one.
Bye. Love you.